she was pregnant and she was going to be induced that day, and you decided to put your hands on her. I don't understand how is she getting in your head that you would be hitting a pregnant woman who's about to deliver your child. And she had bruising and swelling to the eye, along with busted vessels in her eye. That's what you did. I used to do CPS cases, and parents would tell me I will walk through fire for my children.
Yes, ma'am.
They would say that because they knew nobody had a fire for them to walk through. Court is finding you guilty, sentence you to.
All right, folks. Today we're stepping into a courtroom scene that's nothing short of intense. This isn't just another case. It's a deeply serious situation involving a defendant who was found guilty of a horrific act, assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. The energy in the room? Completely off. There's a heavy sense of disappointment, and frankly, the judge isn't holding back. From the very start, the judge tears into him, calling out the gravity of his actions with unflinching authority. And when it comes time for sentencing, let's just say the gavel hits hard. He gets slammed with a brutally severe punishment. It's one of those moments that really underscores how seriously the justice system can take cases of domestic violence. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about how this hearing unfolded? Was justice served? Drop your opinions in the comments. And hey, if you're into this kind of deep dive courtroom content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's dive in and break it all down.
Did you understand you're charged with assault of a pregnant person? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. I'm looking at this plea bargain agreement, and there's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Stephanie Ortiz.
That's her by her request, Judge.
I'm not following. I'm not going to follow that.
Even though that's her request.
No, I mean, no, even though it's a request, according to what I'm about to receive, he is a person who is hitting on, not in a loving manner, a pregnant person. I mean, was she pregnant at the time?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if, you know.
She's requesting, and I'm sorry, Judge, may I speak?
Sure.
She's requesting it for her convenience. They've been doing custody exchanges for the last almost a year through a third-party person, and it's her request. She reached out to me, filled out an affidavit of non-prosecution, and requested that. So
I'm not following that. So if you all want to withdraw your plea now, you can, but I am not doing a no harmful or injurious contact for somebody who's accused, and I haven't read the steps yet, who's accused of hitting a pregnant person.
that's fine, Judge. They're no longer in a relationship. The only relationship is for the benefit of their children. He has no interest in communicating with her beyond that.
All right, so I'm not going to follow that. So y'all have a choice. Either you can go to jury trial, or either you all can change that part of your plea bargain agreement.
We're proceeding with the no contact, Judge.
All right, if you all want to change that. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we would just request that you follow the agreement between the state and defense. Mr. Casillas is wanting to move forward in a direction that's appropriate for his children. He understands what went wrong, and he wants to take full responsibility for that. And he has had no issues since the arrest on this date, and they have been successfully co-parenting since that time. There was a CPS case, Judge, that was closed out for no finding.
All right, how old are you?
21, Your Honor.
How many children do you have?
2, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
1 year and 6 months.
1 year and what?
1 year and 6 months.
Are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I work at Amazon at facility warehouse.
All right, so why do you keep hitting on Stephanie Ortiz? At one point, I'm assuming you loved her because you have children with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why do you keep hitting on her?
No, it was just me not being in the right state of mind, me letting my feelings get to myself and not just thinking right and thinking straight.
That makes no sense to me.
Your Honor, it was just my fault. I let my things get to myself, let her get in my head and
Let what?
let her get in my head, and I just reacted in a wrongful way.
No, but I mean, you're up here hitting someone. Honestly, I don't even know why I should follow this plea, but your attorney is telling me that she's filed a affidavit of non-prosecution. But according to this, she was pregnant and she was going to be induced that day, and you decided to put your hands on her. I don't understand how is she getting in your head that you would be hitting a pregnant woman who's about to deliver your child?
No, Your Honor, well, that day was in the day we were supposed to get induced. But I believe the hitting was before that. So it was just the marks that had came about.
But you still hit her while she was pregnant
Yes.
and she was close to her due date.
Can you believe this guy? He actually has the nerve to correct the judge, right there in the courtroom, without even a flicker of remorse for what he did. Instead of owning up to the fact that he assaulted his pregnant girlfriend, showing even a shred of humility, he decides to nitpick the timeline of her pregnancy. Seriously? You're sitting in court for abuse, and your focus is on how far along she was? That's the hill you're choosing to die on? The audacity is unreal. Honestly, the way he carries himself, it gives off pure chaos energy. There's something about his attitude that just screams entitlement, like he truly thinks he did nothing wrong. I can't help but feel like he's one of those people who walks through life refusing to take responsibility. But what do you think? Is he completely out of touch, or does he genuinely believe he's justified? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear how you're reading the situation. All right, let's jump back into it.
Not that it's appropriate to hit anyone anyway,
No, it's not, Your Honor.
but obviously she was pregnant. And what she's saying in this documentation, I want you to tell you the reason why I'm saying no contact,
Yes, Your Honor.
because what she's saying in this police report is this is not the first time that you've been abusive to her. And the police took photos and she had bruising and swelling to the eye, along with busted vessels in her eye. That's what you did. So the two children you have, is this a boy and a girl, or two boys or two girls?
Girl and
All right. So what's your daughter's name? Sarabella.
she's a year and 7 months.
All right. So she's a year and 7 months. I guarantee you she knows that you've been abusive to her mom. Do you love your daughter
I love her with all my heart.
with all your heart? Would you do anything for her?
I would, Your Honor.
I used to do CPS cases and parents would tell me I will walk through fire for my children.
Yes, Your Honor.
They would say that because they knew nobody had a fire for them to walk through.
Mhm.
But I believe you when you say you love your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So how would you feel if your daughter became of age and she ends up with somebody like you who hits on her? Would you be okay with that?
I'll be very upset, Your Honor.
And so your daughter is learning what it means to show love is to hit on people, and might makes right.
Your Honor, that's
You're going to have to change your ways.
yes,
You
Your
are
Honor.
not to have any contact with Stephanie Ortiz. And anybody else you get into a relationship yet, don't let them meet your publicist. Let them meet you and tell them, hey, want to let you know, I had this abusive acts in my background,
Yes, Your Honor.
because then they can make an informed decision about whether or not they want to date you. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication.
6 years of probation? Honestly, that feels like a total slap on the wrist. I understand that probation has its place in the justice system, sure, but for something as severe and disturbing as physically assaulting a pregnant woman, that just doesn't sit right. It's hard to wrap my head around how someone can get away with such a light sentence when the victim is not only a woman, but one carrying his child. That's not just wrong, it's downright heartless. In my opinion, this kind of behavior deserves actual prison time, at least a year or two, to send a clear message and maybe force this guy to face the weight of what he's done. Probation feels more like a timeout than real accountability. What do you think? Is probation enough in a case like this, or should the consequences have been far more serious? Let me know your thoughts down below. All right, let's keep going.
There's to be no contact with Stephanie Ortiz. There's to be the BIPP course, parenting classes, that can be with rainbows. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived once he completes parenting classes. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive, Your Honor.
And what are you going to be positive for?
I mean, no, negative, Your Honor.
Negative? Okay. So you haven't used anything.
No, I-
I think Amazon drug tests, do
Yes,
they
yes,
not?
yes, Amazon Drug Test, yes, ma'am.
All right, there's to be regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits one time every 3 months. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
You already did mention the regular.
Yes. All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Honestly, that last ruling felt like a miss on the judge's part. Just didn't hit the mark. I mean, I'm really hoping the guy turns his life around and doesn't hurt anyone else. But let's be real. I'm not exactly holding my breath. Now, shifting gears, this next courtroom moment is on a whole different scale. We're talking about a 17-year-old. Yeah, just a teenager who's staring down the barrel of a possible 99-year prison sentence. You heard that right, 99. He's been charged with aggravated robbery, and if convicted, his entire life could be gone before it's even really started. It's wild to think about. I mean, what were you doing at 17? Probably stressing over finals, not facing a near century behind bars. Let's jump in and see how the judge approaches this incredibly heavy case involving such a young defendant.
Did you understand in each cause number, you're charged with the offense of aggravated robbery? That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Mm-hmm.
After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause number, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge, but ask to waive PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just ask you to follow the plea bargain here.
All right. And the cause number ending in 2528, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 2529, taking consideration 2023 CR 2621, 2527, 699, 185, and 184. There's to be restitution, if any, to Isaac Cervantes, Cameron Carroll, Kyle Sutherland, and Stephanie Lefebvre, and also no contact with any of those parties. And then in cause number ending in 2529, court is finding you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison.
Boom, just like that. 5 years, and then another 5 stacked right on top. This 17-year-old is now looking at a full decade behind bars for stealing. And the wild part? Instead of taking the tougher, but legal, route of finding a job and grinding it out like the rest of us, he chose the shortcut. Yeah, times are hard, we all get that. But breaking the law isn't the solution. He could have learned a trade, picked up a part-time gig, maybe found a path that didn't lead him straight into a courtroom. Now, I know some people might feel a bit torn. He's still a kid, after all, and he technically has his whole life ahead of him. But does being 17 really give him a pass for making choices that carry adult consequences? Some folks say 10 years is too harsh for a crime like this, while others, myself included, believe it might be exactly what it takes to wake him up and shift his direction. What do you think? Is the sentence fair or over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get back to it to see how he reacts to hearing his fate.
Credit for any time served, concurrent with 2023 CR 2528, taking consideration 2023 CR 2621, 2527, County Court Cause number 699-185, 184, no contact, and restitution to the following: Isaac Cervantes, Cameron Carroll, Kyle Sutherland, and Stephanie Lefebvre. I'm pronouncing that name all sorts of ways. I apologize to Stephanie. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're off the record. How old are you?
17.
You're 17 and you're doing this foolishness. Things, if you want things, you got to get a job so you can have things. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
For a 17-year-old, you've chosen a hard road for yourself because you're going to prison, 17. And you're going to be in prison with a bunch of people who are there for murders and other things. When you go to prison, don't become institutionalized. You're 17, you still have a chance to make something out of yourself and do better in your life. So keep your head down and do your time and try to improve yourself. You can even take college classes while you're at the prison. And if you dropped out of school and don't have your high school diploma, you can get your high school diploma while you're there. So don't come out of prison having just wasted time, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Maurer.
This kid barely said a word. Seriously, he took that 10-year sentence and headed straight to his cell like it was just another day. No reaction, no emotion, nothing. I mean, personally, I can't imagine being in that position. Though, let's be real, I probably wouldn't have committed the crime in the first place. But hey, that's just me. What do you all think? Is a 10-year sentence fair for what he did? Honestly, I think it's a pretty reasonable outcome. Aggravated robbery is no small offense, and while Judge Boyd is known for being compassionate and giving people second chances, probation, lighter sentences, this was different. This wasn't the kind of case where you walk away with a slap on the wrist. He was facing up to 99 years, so landing on 10 actually feels like a middle ground judgment. I mean, have any of you ever seen someone get probation for aggravated robbery? I sure haven't. From what I know, prison time is pretty much non-negotiable in cases like this. But let me know what you think. Was 10 years too harsh or just right? I always appreciate hearing your take. And hey, if you're into content that breaks down courtroom moments like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.